I'm Kim Ogg, Harris County District Attorney, and we've asked you to join us this morning to announce the conclusion of a year-long investigation into gambling establishments in the area known as Chinatown. Today we're announcing the arrest of 22 individuals charged with crimes ranging from money laundering to engaging in organized crime. Of the 22 individuals charged, some are simply clerks that work in these establishments, others are owner-operators, and 2 former ex-Houston police officers ensnared in this investigation as well. And I'm joined by the Chief of Police, who together worked this investigation, his Vice Division, for over a year with our Harris County Special Crimes Bureau. Illegal gambling game rooms in general are magnets for crime. Cash is how business is done. Owners rarely report crimes. Ancillary crimes such as robbery, shootings, murders even, extortion are spin-offs of the gambling criminal industry. Of course, the owner-operators of these gambling game rooms don't pay taxes on the money, so where we have to earn $200 to bring home $140, they take every penny of the cash they earn illegally home. And in this year-long operation, over $2 million was seized and will be criminally forfeited following the criminal cases against these individuals. The cash was seized predominantly from an individual's safe in his home. His name is Vo. He's one of the individuals charged. For the booking photos of all of the people who we've charged this morning, there are instructions coming out from our communications division. You will be able to obtain the booking photos from the Sheriff's Department. You know, in these game rooms, they look really innocent. You can walk in, see the machines, but to actually access them, generally they have to know you. It's a closed industry. You sit down, people play the machines. Seniors sometimes waste hundreds of dollars at a time. They're on limited fixed incomes. Food is offered for free to keep older people there. Many of the establishments of the 5 that are taken down by this operation, they had 25 to 60 8-liners apiece. The game room itself is not illegal. That's what's confusing to the public. We have to prove that the machines are actually used illegally. And what makes it illegal is when the owner-operators pay out over the lawful limit. That's what makes it illegal gambling. And you know, in this jurisdiction, we have legal gambling, horse racing, dog racing. It's not as though people with this desire don't have other outlets. These are simply illegal operations operated by organized criminal enterprises. All of the game rooms involved in this case have been shut down except for one. The game rooms themselves are regulated by city and county ordinances, and together with the city attorney's office, we expect to close more game rooms. This is an ongoing issue for people in Houston. We know that Chinatown and that the Asian community in general has suffered a series of robberies and violent crimes in their area. And we hope that by investing the resources in investigations like this one, that we can make a measurable difference in the violent crimes that are attendant to this kind of criminal activity. The 2 officers that have been charged in this case, we're working with their criminal defense lawyers now to peacefully surrender. They are cooperative. They've both resigned. And unlike many district attorneys around the country that I meet with, I am joined by our police chief in this announcement of the arrest of 2 former cops. And I'm joined by him because we share a passion for justice. We'll get to the bottom of the criminal activity in this county. And when it involves law enforcement officers, they will be treated equally. The law does apply to everyone. And with that, I'd like to introduce and ask Chief Acevedo to say some words about this case.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, DA Ogg, and to your team. And so we're really proud to stand up here as an organization because we are in the business of the pursuit of justice. And the pursuit of justice requires us to be blind in our pursuit, to be diligent in our pursuit, to be consistent in our pursuit. And we wanted to say that for the last year, we're proud of the fact that the Houston Police Department, Narcotics Division, Vice Division, and different assets have worked with the DA's office and other partners to bring this investigation to its conclusion. When police officers engage in criminal activity, they are not only violating the penal code statutes or the statutes, the criminal statutes, they're violating their oath of office. And to those out there, critics that would say that police departments do not hold themselves accountable, they don't hold their officers accountable, you don't need any more proof than this. We didn't just look the other way. We aggressively pursued these guys, and in terms of the actual crime that's being investigated with these game rooms, just know this: it is not a victimless crime. It creates an environment that brings a lot of other criminal activity. Robberies, aggravated robberies, assaults, aggravated assaults, narcotics activity. And so when we allow these things to stand, these card rooms to stand, these game rooms to stand, what happens is we have a lot of community members that are being victimized because of the large amount of cash that's coming to and from those establishments. So to the DA's office, I want to say thank you for your diligence, and to all the investigators involved with the Houston Police Department. I'm proud that these guys are no longer part of our organization. And what gives me great pride and great hope and really great comfort is the fact that our people have learned of this as it starts permeating throughout the department. That two of our members, former members now, have been charged with money laundering. Our folks are glad that they were identified, they were removed, and now they're going to be held accountable. So thank you for the partnership, and I look forward to continuing to work diligently to pursue justice no matter where it leads us.
Before we call up Jessica Chin, just a few words about the officers charged and what money laundering means. Criminals seek profit out of their crimes. They don't pay taxes on the money. The cash, however, has to be spent in some way that makes it clean. And so in this instance, the two officers are accused of buying expensive luxury vehicles for one of the owner-operators and his wife, or ex-wife, of one of the game rooms. The owner-operator is Tim Vo. The officers' names, the ex-officers' names are Larry Wynn and Wee Lee. And both obtained loans on behalf of and made payments on behalf of Mr. Vo, whose profits were derived from illegal gambling and organized crime. Those profits were then turned into assets, expensive luxury cars, and the police officers who are charged assisted in that laundering of the illegal proceeds. So that's the basis of their charges. I want to thank the chief. We have very different jobs, but we work together regularly. That too, I think, is very beneficial to the citizens of Harris County. And we understand our roles are different. We also know that having a good working relationship is critical to public safety. So I appreciate the chief for being here. I appreciate all of his command staff. This is my staff and many of the leaders in our office. I appreciate their efforts. I just want the public to know we're working hard on their behalf for public safety. To that end, I've invited a friend from the Asian American community. Her name is Jessica Chin. Ms. Chin has been a crime victim herself. Ms. Chin participated on my transition committees after I was elected Harris County DA, and she's somebody who we look to as a voice who's not afraid to say what she thinks and tell us what the community needs. And to that end, I'd like to invite her up.
Thank you to everybody for inviting me to speak here. Since 2016, the Houston Chinatown area has become a target area for robberies. There have been numerous robberies in Chinatown area during the past 2 years, which have negatively impacted the character of the neighborhood and the peace of mind of the residents and the visitors to Houston Chinatown. The criminals have largely targeted Chinese and other Asian women by grabbing their bags in shopping center parking lots or other public areas in the Chinatown area. Although the situation has recently improved after the Chinese community held a town hall meeting in August 2017 about the problem, the August 2017 meeting generated great attention among the public to the public safety issue in Chinatown. Nevertheless, over the last 2 months, 5 robberies were reported to HPD, which occurred at various locations in Chinatown, including Corporate Drive, Sovereign Street, and Bel Air Boulevard. I'm also aware there are illegal gambling in Southwest Houston. It also brings bad people to gamble and leads other crimes in Chinatown area. Intentionally targeting Chinese or Asians for crime is discriminatory, as it singles out Chinese and Asians as a victim. We strongly condemn the crimes who commit robberies and other violence in Chinatown and make Chinatown less safe. The Chinese community wants to say thank you to HPD and the Harris County DA office for their hard working on the public safety issue and their efforts. Let's fight crime together for the betterment of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Questions?
When did you realize that the police officers were involved in this? How long was it? A year-long investigation? How long did it take for their names and their activities to pop up?
The entire investigation took about a year. It was delayed slightly by Harvey, as everything was, but the evidence will show that they surfaced in the investigation at, I'd say, a critical point, and that once they became known, that information was immediately provided to the Houston Police Department, who then led the investigation of their own officers. And the result are these 2 cases.
Would they be in uniform in the game room? I mean, were they using their authority, their position in some way?
So I hate going into the evidence of pending cases, but I will say that there is video footage that's going to be part of the evidence in these cases, and that their presence was common in some of the instances at some of the game rooms, but the crime that they're charged with is laundering the money and purchasing one through the police credit union, a luxury vehicle for the owner-operator, Tim Vo.
But is there any evidence that they were able to elude law enforcement detection because of their presence there? That they used somehow police connections to...
Well, they didn't elude police investigation.
But how long were they open, and is there any evidence that they may have...
I'm not aware of how long the criminal activity went on, but I can tell you that we feel that I'm confident that we have sufficient evidence to obtain convictions in the cases. At least that's what we believe. We believe grand juries, found probable cause, and that, well, they haven't been presented to a grand jury, right? They've just been charged. We direct filed on them.
It's not uncommon, though, for law enforcement officers to work secondary jobs in the game. We've seen it in the past with the sheriff's department. Were these officers, I guess maybe that's the question, were they working secondary jobs in these game rooms, or were they just sort of affiliated differently? Were they employed by these game rooms?
No, they were not employed by these folks. Well, obviously they were employed in a criminal enterprise, and that's why they've been charged, and they did not elude us. And I'm proud of the fact, again, that we're glad that we're putting this to bed. We're putting it to rest, and now we're going to let the process take its course, but we're not going to tolerate any type of corruption in our police department. I believe that the common criminal, they violate criminal statutes, but I believe that when a police officer violates the same criminal statutes, that's even more egregious in my mind, because they violated their oath of office. We've taken an oath to be soldiers of the law, to be absolutely true to the law, and when somebody violates that oath, I'm glad that I'm working with the DA's office. That I've been in this business for 32 years now, and I can tell you over the years there have been cases where we felt very strongly that charges should have been brought against a police officer, criminal charges, and for whatever reason, other DAs in other places and other parts of my career didn't charge those officers. And I believe when that doesn't happen, when that does happen, that the charges that should have been brought aren't, it has a tremendous erosion on public trust. Yes. And while some people may look at this as a proof of a bad police department, I think that this shows proof of a healthy criminal justice system in Harris County where we don't run away from this, because we know that the human condition is imperfect. We know that there's good and bad in everything, and that we're going to support the very, very vast majority of hardworking men and women that wear this uniform. We've got to catch these people, charge them, and hopefully get a conviction. So I'm just glad that we got them, and that our department played a significant role in it.
How long did they serve as police officers for each?
I don't recall. We can get 15 years? 15. One on 15, I don't recall the other.
10 and 15.
10 and 15, 10 and 15, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Can I ask, is there any, you talk a lot about what has to make it, or what has to be done to make gambling illegal. So compare these to, say, some of the poker rooms that are sprouting up all around town, and just as visible, but not in Houston's Chinatown.
You want to talk about it, Lester?
Okay.
Lester Blizzard is head of our money laundering division at the Harris County DA's office. I'm going to let him answer that question.
And I guess as you do, Lester, do you believe that the poker rooms may be just as much violation?
I am not prepared to answer that at this time. I can tell you that illegal gambling is taken very serious by our office. Our DA takes a very severe look at it. We are conducting reviews and operations of that, and I think you'll hear more about that in the future. But I'm just not prepared to talk about that right now, as it would be inappropriate.
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the details. The poker room question has come up. And all I can say is that I think people need to be aware of the gambling laws in this state. I think the owner-operators of those poker rooms need to be sure that illegal gambling isn't occurring there. It has to do with intent and payouts, etc. I think those guys understand and gals understand that they are riding the razor's edge. And so if there's illegal operations happening, then they could be under investigation. I think that's what I'm at liberty to say right now. Ted, as you know, when we're conducting an investigation, we don't announce it. That's why public corruption, civil rights cases, often we hear from the media, why doesn't the district attorney's office, tell us what's going on? Why don't you do something? Well, the truth is, we are doing something. And investigations require us to operate without announcing the next move. I don't think we would be as effective if we broadcast to the criminal community what we're working on, when, and how much information we have on them at that time. And so I would just let people know if they're involved in criminal activity in those poker rooms that they should be on notice that those types of illegal acts are something that we have jurisdiction over and that we clearly care about. That's why we're here today.
On an unrelated matter, what can you tell us about the DA investigator that was involved with the deputy investigator?
So I have some information that there was a skirmish between a DA investigator and a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, and that's the information that I have. So I know one of the individuals was treated for a minor injury. I've placed that individual on administrative paid leave, and in working with Constable Rosen, we'll get to the bottom of it. Every case is a search for the truth. We'll find out what happened, and when we know what's happened, I'll let the news know.
Disappointed?
Do what?
Are you disappointed?
Well, I don't have enough information to be disappointed or excited, but no, it's never good when law enforcement gets into a skirmish with each other. The chief mentioned it. We're human. We employ human beings. We're imperfect. And often, as I say, as the elected DA, the decisions we make anger half the people. And so, this is a different type of elected job, and it's not one that is envisioned as making people happy. We're charged with seeking justice. To me, that translates into seeking the truth in every case and attempting to get a just result for the victim, for the accused, and the community in every single case. Thank you, Ted. Thank you all. Spanish, Ruben Perez. Can we stay up here for him? Chief, you want to stay up? Sure.
Go ahead. You start.
Buenos días. ¿Están listos? Ok, ¿está lista? Ok, me llamo Rubén Pérez, soy jefe del Bureau de Special Crimes, trabajo con la fiscal de Harris County, Kim Ogg, y estoy aquí para hacer unas preguntas que tengan ustedes, de unas respuestas.
Háblanos un poco sobre el caso, más o menos resumiendo lo que dijo la fiscal.
Como dijo la fiscal Kim Ogg, esta investigación duró un año. Investigamos lugares aquí en Harris County donde había puestas ilegal, y durante esa investigación agarramos 5 lugares que estaban haciendo esta casa de actividad, y también de contrabando tomamos más de $2 millones. 19 fueron acusados, 2 fueron policías que están acusados en la justicia criminal.
¿Los policías son acusados de lavado de dinero?
Sí. ¿Dónde? No le escucho, por favor.
Nada más coméntanos un poco más sobre el caso. ¿En dónde se sabe dónde fueron los arrestos?
Bueno, la área de investigación fue la área que se llama Chinatown, y los 2 policías que fueron acusados, la acusación es de que lavaron dinero, usaron dinero de uno de los dueños del lugar, compraron carros que estaban muy caros, y usaron el dinero para comprar carros que estaban muy caros, y así lavaban el dinero.
¿Los 5 establecimientos estaban en Chinatown?
Sí.
Buenos días. Hoy estamos anunciando el arresto claro de 22 sospechosos que están involucrados en crímenes Y lo que quiero decir a la comunidad es que nosotros no vamos a permitir la corrupción en este departamento. Estamos aquí apoyando a la fiscal Kim Ogg. Estoy orgulloso que hemos trabajado junto, nuestro departamento, con esta organización para asegurar que no vamos a permitir la corrupción. Los 2 oficiales que fueron cargados en esto, en este caso, llevan 10 años y 15 años en el departamento, y el mes pasado se fueron del departamento y están trabajando para nosotros. Es importante que la comunidad sepa que en estas locaciones donde están todas estas cosas pasando, desgraciadamente hay otros crímenes que pasan por esta clase de actividad. Robos, asaltos, muchos crímenes que ponen en peligro a nuestra comunidad. Estoy orgulloso que nosotros persiguiendo la justicia, lo estamos persiguiendo y no nos importa quién tenemos que traer en cuenta. Y hoy estoy orgulloso que esos 2 oficiales que estaban cometiendo actos de corrupción están cargados y van a tener que llevar la cuenta aquí en la corte. ¿Ellos siguen con el departamento? No, ellos se resignaron del departamento en febrero. Ya no son miembros de este departamento. Gracias.
All right, let's roll.